Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It is January the 30th, and we're beginning our reading in Exodus chapter 24, where we have the Lord entering into covenant with Israel as a nation. We have the giving of the Mosaic law, and we have the beginning of the instructions to the children of Israel regarding the construction of the tabernacle of meeting. Starting with the furniture which was in the most holy place, the Ark of the Covenant, and then the table of showbread and the lampstand. First, the Lord enters into covenant with his people, the children of Israel. The Lord called Moses, Aaron, his sons, the priests, and 70 elders, that is, the judges of Israel, and they stood afar off, but Moses drew near to the Lord. Then Moses recounted all the words of the law, all the laws of the Lord, and his judgments, and the people answered with one voice. They promised to keep the words of the Lord in doing them. Then Moses built an altar and set up 12 pillars, one for each tribe, and the priests offered burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. Now at this particular time, the priests were not the Levitical priests. They were the priests, they were the young men who were priests of the Lord up until this stage. The tabernacle hadn't been constructed yet, and the priesthood had not been ordained yet, but there was priesthood, they were priests already in terms of young men. Then all the leaders of the people drew near and saw the Lord. And then the Lord called on Moses and Joshua, his servant, to come up to the mountain, and there the Lord gave him stone tablets on which were written with the finger of God the commandments. Moses was in the mountain for 40 days and nights, and then the Lord instructed Moses to tell the people to bring a free will offering to the Lord. And these offerings became the basis for the materials for the construction of the tabernacle. They brought gold, silver, brass, cloth that was blue, purple, scarlet, and fine white linen. May I say that all these materials were the most expensive commodities in the world. Gold, silver, even brass, cloth that was blue and purple and scarlet. These were all very expensive indeed. They brought goat hair cloth, ram's skins dyed red, badger skins, and shittim wood. They brought oil for light, spices for making the anointing oil, and for incense, and they brought precious stones. Then the Lord gave careful instructions regarding the making of the Ark of the Covenant. It's interesting that the Lord gave careful, detailed instructions regarding the making of the Ark of the Covenant. It's interesting that the Lord begins with the Ark and then goes progressively outward to the people, and then finally describes how Israel is able to draw near to the Lord. The Ark, or box, was 2.5 cubits long, 1 cubit deep, and 1.5 cubits high. It was made of wood and overlaid with gold. There were 4 rings to carry it, and staves in the rings to lift it. On top of the ark was a lid called the mercy seat. It was a little longer and deeper than the ark itself. On the mercy seat there were 2 models of cherubim facing each other from each end. This was the place where the Lord met with his people. The next item of furniture was a table on which was placed loaves of bread. The table was 2 cubits long, 1 cubit deep, and 1.5 cubits high. It had a ring going around it to prevent the bread from falling off the top. It was made of shittim wood and overlaid with gold. It also had rings and staves for lifting it. There were also dishes, spoons, covers, and bowls made of pure gold. The third item of furniture in the holy place was the lampstand. This was made of pure gold beaten together, not cast. No height is given, but it had 7 branches together, 3 on either side. The whole thing was covered in significant ornament. Included in this item were instruments for tending it. All these items speak of Christ. The mercy seat was the place where God met man, and we know that Christ himself is the meeting place where God meets men. It was made of that which grew out of the earth, wood, and contained the law of God. Yet it was covered in gold, speaking of his deity, and protected by angelic beings. The table spoke of Christ in that he is the one who feeds the souls of men, and the lampstand speaks of Christ, who brings light to all. Now, the passage is fascinating. We have these 2 or 3 incidents where the children of Israel are invited to enter into covenant relationship with the Lord. And also we have these incidents in which the children of Israel are invited, or certain individuals, Moses and Nadab and Abihu and Joshua, are invited to go with Moses up into the mountain of God. My password is a little phrase in verse 8. It says, "Let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them." Let them make a sanctuary. So what is a sanctuary? A sanctuary is a sacred place. It is a sanctuary. There's only one sacred place. And that one sacred place was between the cherubim on the top of the mercy seat. That was the place where God had set his name to dwell. He was going to dwell among the children of Israel. And all of the children of Israel would be encamped in relation to that mercy seat. That mercy seat was going to be the place where God himself was going to come down from heaven and dwell amongst his people. There are people today that say, of course, we're just Israelites. Christians are not Israelites, not at all. The Lord gave to Israel an incredible position, an incredible covenant. He said, I want you to enter into covenant with me. And 3 times in this passage, the people say, all that the Lord says, we will do. They were to be a holy nation in a holy land. And now there was to be a holy place. There was to be a place, a sacred place, where God would dwell amongst them. Well, God bless you. It's great to talk to you. Look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Have a great day and God bless you. Bye for now.